Welcome to Breaking the Vow on Strong Island Radio. This is a show where we turn pain into power and find recovery after divorce, separation, and breakups. This is where we push the emotional hang-ups to the side and create a plan to reach our best possible potential. This is where the next chapter starts and how the healing begins. So let's welcome your hosts, Theresa D. and Benny, the life coach.
And here we are at another episode of Breaking the Vow. I am Theresa D. here with my co-host.
I am Benny, the life coach. We have a return guest.
Yes, we love
Very
her.
special
Yes.
return guest. Annemarie, can you do us a favor and just fill us in a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, my name is Annemarie Grattan. I am an attorney and family mediator. I also represent children as an attorney for children. So I am family court, custody, child support, neglects, abuse, divorces, but also in those capacities represent children in their interests.
And what exactly is an attorney for the children?
Wait a minute. We have to take a step back.
Okay, let's take a step back.
Okay, we have to take a step back, and we have to get the definition of an attorney for the child, a
law guardian,
and a guardian ad litem, because I think there's a lot of confusion surrounding all of that.
I never heard attorney ad litem. Was that
Guardian ad litem.
Guardian ad litem. What is that?
A guardian ad litem in New York. I'm only licensed
Yes,
in
New York. Get it.
Concept in New York is somebody who can assist either an adult or a child in helping them make decisions about their case. For example, if they don't have the requisite mental capacity to make decisions on their own. A guardian ad litem is an officer of the court, usually also an attorney, and they have to be appointed by the judge in a very special circumstance when the person is unfortunately not able to assist in their own representation.
Okay.
So an individual in court could have an attorney representing them as well as a GAL or a guardian ad litem to assist their attorney in their defense.
So wow, that's so interesting and like kind of complicated. Because
Yes.
I think going through divorce as it is complicated.
Right.
Because most
And
people,
not being able to make a decision on your own has to be even harder.
so that type of person, you would want them to be super qualified.
Yes.
And be able to do that without a bias.
Right.
Do you
You
find?
mean a guardian ad litem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be appointed as a guardian ad litem, but very honestly, I have never been.
Okay.
I am an attorney for children, which used to be called a law guardian.
Right. So
that-
explain
where-
to us the difference again between the law guardian and the attorney for the child, because I think that is the most confusing part.
In the past, we had law guardians. They were supposed to not represent what their child client wanted, not represent that child's position, but to do what is, quote, in that child's best interests, end quote. That was problematic, and the law changed simply because that's not an attorney's role.
Right.
It's up to the judge to determine what is in the child's best interests. So the law changed. We're now called attorneys for children or the attorney for the child. And our role is to represent what that child specifically wants. So if they tell us in a confidential communication between attorney and child client, they want to live with dad, or they want to live with mom, or they don't want to take a position, our job is to zealously advocate for that child client's wishes. Not what is good for them, not what's in their best interest, but what they specifically tell us they want. Just like a parent's attorney is required to advocate for that parent.
Okay.
That's got to be so difficult to be a child in the middle even though every parent says, "Oh, I love my child. I would never put them in the middle of our divorce."
Yeah, well, they do.
They do, right?
all the
Yes.
time. And
All
a lot
the
of times,
time.
and the unfortunate part is I represent adults as well. And I tell them when I meet with them, I'm not meeting you as your best self. I'm not meeting you in a good spot in your life.
Right.
I'm probably seeing you at your absolute worst because a divorce matter by its own nature impacts every single aspect of your life.
Yes, it does.
Your home, your retirement, your income or lack thereof, the support for yourself and the support for your spouse and your children, as well as custody and parenting time and all the decisions that go with that.
Yes. And have you found, okay, so in your transition from the attorney for the child, have you seen other attorneys for the child act in a way that they were advocating for what the child's best interests were rather than advocating for what they actually want?
It is very likely that in the course of my practice of law, I've seen attorneys make mistakes because I, as an attorney, make mistakes.
Right. You're human.
If you were an attorney for children back when the standard was advocate for that child client's best interests, and you had been doing that for 10, 15, 20 years, and then all of a sudden the law changed and you're not supposed to advocate for their quote best interests end quote anymore, and instead you have to advocate for their express wishes, I'm sure people got used to doing it quote the old way. I don't think that attorneys that represent children have malintent or maliciously
Right.
saying, I'm going to advocate for this child's best interest, to heck what they want, because I don't think it's good for them and I know better. There may be, but my experience has been that the attorneys for children that I've worked with try very hard to advocate for their clients' express wishes and are put through the ringer very often by others individuals in the case because, for example, if their client's position is I don't want to take a position and I don't want to pick,
Right.
then it feels as if why are we paying you because you're not doing your job when they actually are doing their job.
Yes, you're
Well,
right.
no, he's telling me he wants to live with me and he's telling me he wants to live with me. Why aren't you picking a side? Well, my client does not want to pick a side and is refusing to take a position because, shocker, they love both of you.
Right.
And they want you as the adults and the parents to, quote, figure it out.
Yes.
Tell me what I'm having for dinner. Tell me where I'm going to school. Tell me who's picking me up from practice and let me be a kid.
Right. I
But-
completely agree with that.
Do you remember years ago, I think Drew Barrymore was in it. There was a movie called Irreconcilable Differences, and she was a kid divorcing her parents because the parents couldn't get along.
Yeah, they couldn't get it together.
Do you remember that movie, or am I
She doesn't
too
really
old?
watch TV.
It's a movie. it's a
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I don't really watch TV, but I've heard of that movie. And it happens actually in court now because the children get so entrenched in the divorce litigation or the custody litigation because their parents force them to get so involved in it
Yes.
that they want nothing to do with their parents. I can't wait to go to college because then I get to move
Right.
out
It
and
just makes
deal
them
with it.
want to leave.
And it's heartbreaking. But
Yeah.
as I said, their parents are not at their best. They're entrenched in this horrible war with somebody that they used to care about and possibly still do. I don't know. And as I said, it impacts every single aspect. So they're litigating a divorce while trying to manage their household, likely also hold down a job because we live on
Yes.
an island. And it's so much that they have to deal with that their child becomes their support system, their
Yes.
confidant, their
Yeah.
sounding
Their
board.
therapist.
So it's an
Oh, it's
so basically
inappropriate.
you're saying it's an unfair and inappropriate role reversal.
Yeah. It's completely unfair.
Yeah, children become parentified. And
Yeah.
they become the adults in the situation. And it's sad because they grow up way too fast as it is.
Yeah.
We're about to go for a quick break, but when we come back, there is a question I have about certain people in a position that perhaps might be unethical or biased. And what do we do in that case? Because there are people that believe that the bias exists and that, well, this person's against me. And in some cases, maybe that's so. So let's take a quick break, and we're going to get back to, we're going to talk about bias in the courts.
Ben, I found the greatest invention ever.
Okay.
I went to take my patio furniture out.
Okay.
And I realized that last year when I put it all away, I put them in these big zipper bags from Wrap America.
Yes.
Life changing.
Yes. No. Rap America is awesome. Tommy definitely helped me out on a few different occasions.
It holds patio furniture, wave runners, ATVs. It's weather resistant.
Advanced protection wrap
Yes.
is economical and a practical choice.
So call 516-830-0040, or you can go onto their website, wrap-america.com.
All right, since we have a meeting after this in West Islip,
Yes.
I got a place for us to go.
Oh, you do?
Because I'm going to be hungry, so we're going to go to Our Little Italy, 636 Union Boulevard, West Islip, New York, 11795. If you want to know, call 631-661-6246. Pickup and delivery are available. Ask for John. Go on www.ourlittleItalymenu.com to find out what they have.
Oh, I heard they have good chicken parm. Hey, Ben,
Yes.
I need to talk about solar energy.
Okay. I want to hear about
Lighthouse
it.
Energy Partners. Go solar and start saving today.
Makes sense.
Owner, operated by women.
Ooh.
We believe in order to close the gender gap in the energy field, we need to showcase key female players and keeping them behind the scenes. Their mission is to serve clients with the highest level of integrity, stability, and respect by viewing their customers as partners. Any energy project you have in mind, call on Lighthouse Energy, www.lighthouseenergypartners.com, 631-275-0091, located in Babylon Village, New York.
So I have great news. Since we do this show on divorce, when divorce hits, you know, maybe you want to sell the house. Maybe you need a C of O, a certificate of occupancy for certain things in the house. So if you're looking to make some home improvements, need an architect, contact Certified Drafting. Selling your home, need permits for existing structures, need a property survey, contact Certified Drafting. Certified Drafting will handle all building department matters, serving Long Island for over 20 years. www.certifieddrafting.com, office number 516-844-0420, or you can email Kevin Daly at certifieddrafting.com. Tell them you heard about this from the show, from Breaking the Vow, and you're going to receive a 10% discount.
We love Kevin.
I love Kevin. I think that's pretty awesome. And we're back. And all right, so here it is. I have a lot of friends that have gone through divorce. They did have law guardians, and they were. I don't know if any of them had a lawyer for the child. But they did swear to me, up and down, swear to me. This person seems like either they're against me or they don't seem. There seems to be a bias rather than an unbiased. Is that common?
It has to be, or we're not doing our job. So once the law changed and we're supposed to be attorneys for children, if our client, who is capable of reasoned judgment and understands what they're saying and how they're saying it, if that child client tells us, I want to spend more time with my father, then it could appear in litigating that case that they're against the mother. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the mother, but they have to advance their client's position or they're not doing their job. And when a lawyer doesn't do their job, that's malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
Showing bias, it could be because they're doing their job and advocating for their child client. it doesn't mean that they dislike one of the parents. It means they're trying their best to advocate for their client and advance that client's position.
I think I've seen people who have, or I've spoken with people who have sworn that something unethical was happening. For example, say an attorney for the child, or law guardian, or whichever, was influenced, maybe financially, or persuaded by a party. What would happen in a case like that?
Yeah, if that was to happen. We're not saying that it does, but if something like that was to happen, something unethical was to happen, what would happen?
Well, it depends on how it happens and how clear you're aware that it is happening. So attorneys are bound by a code of ethics.
Yes.
We can go before the ethics committee if we break the law or if we don't act according to the canons of ethics that we're sworn to uphold.
Okay.
So what happens if you think somebody's doing something that's not correct? If you believe an attorney is not being ethical, then you can report them to the grievance committee and explain for X, Y, and Z reasons that they're not being ethical. And that attorney would be called to the carpet to have to answer those allegations.
I think
As
people.
far as the financial end of it, though, in Supreme Court, where divorces are held in Suffolk County, where I practice, Nassau County, in New York, the Supreme Court judge appoints an attorney for the children. And then they order the allocation of payment. The judge determines how much of a retainer that attorney for the child is going to receive
Yes.
and what the hourly rate is.
And
The attorney-
who they're going to retain it from as well.
Correct, because the judge appoints that person.
Yes.
And they're required to appoint a person on a particular list. To get on the list, you have to meet specific criteria and qualifications.
Yes.
So it's a process. As an attorney for children in Supreme Court, do I get to have a say as to how much the parents pay me? No. Do I get to have a say as to what my hourly rate is? No. Is it usually far less than my retained hourly rate as a divorce attorney for one of the parents? Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that because one of the parents may be paying more than 50%, I'm going to be taking their side because they're paying my bill? No, because then I wouldn't be doing my job and I would have to call my malpractice carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other people who are more persuaded by financial means and the almighty dollar? Because it's, hey, if I take their side, I'm getting paid and I can make my mortgage payment? Possibly, but there are unethical and people who don't do the right thing in all professions.
Right. Yes.
I think there's people that might have a justifiable reason to believe that something unethical is happening.
Yeah.
I think what comes after that is the intimidation of the process that happens. So you had said you file a grievance. You know, it's a lot of times someone that's a victim doesn't believe anyone's going to listen or believe them.
Especially when it comes to I don't know. I guess I would say that the professions do stick together. They're kind of
There's
one.
something to that, yeah.
There's something to that. They're one unit. Like, you're my friend, I have your back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say anything.
No,
bad.
you would call me in the back, be like, "What'd you do, stupid?"
Exactly. But to
in
anybody,
a court of law, you're not
right,
going to be like, "He did it."
Right.
That
exactly.
guy right there. So
It is what it is.
I think there's something to that. Like, we always we do back the blue here, but we have spoken about people behind the blue line sticking together, even if something's wrong.
Right.
We've talked about that, but now, in this case, how do you fight City Hall? Like, all of these questions.
You kind of don't.
It's an intimidating process.
You don't ever want to say, okay, this person didn't do their job, and then go in front of one of their colleagues and say this person didn't do their job.
Well, even so, there's the appellate court if you have a problem, correct?
Yes.
That's an expensive procedure, isn't it?
Yes.
I think I need to clarify a point. The appellate process is when you don't agree with the decision of the trial court.
Right.
Say you have a hearing or
Yep.
a trial, and the judge makes a determination that they believe it's in the child's best interest to have a certain parenting time schedule for one parent and custody to the other parent.
Right.
If you don't prevail, you're not successful, you have the right to say, I don't think that judge's decision was correct.
Yes.
I would like to appeal.
Right. I would like to appeal it.
And yes, that is a very expensive process because of the time and paperwork involved.
Yes.
However, that's not the same process as I don't believe an attorney is acting ethically. They're very different processes.
Well,
Yes. They are. They are very different. Because legally, if you don't like the decision of the judge,
Okay.
you can say, I'm going to take this to appellate court and I'm
Right.
going to appeal that judge's decision.
Right.
So,
Okay.
right. Now, if you believe that the attorney has acted unethically, that's a different process. That's a grievance with the Suffolk County Bar Association or Nassau County Bar Association.
But what my point is, I understand that. My point is, let's say the judgment wasn't a desirable one. And the reason why you believe that judgment was not desirable is because somebody was playing a little dirty pool. We'll say it like that. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't say it like all lawyery. But then you say, well, now I'm taking it to the appellate court. I'm going to go through the appellate process.
Right.
But again, what do you do if you don't have the money to deal with that process?
You don't do it.
You grin and bear it. Is that it?
Well, they're separate. So when a judge makes a decision, it usually is a written decision.
Yes.
That has to be reasoned. For example, it has to spell out the law,
Right.
the facts, and it has to make sense. If the law is, we believe it's in the child's best interest to live with dad because, and then they go throughout the reasons. Dad has the financial means to support the child. Dad has been the primary caretaker for the child. And most importantly, lately is dad will foster a meaningful relationship with mom. And here's the testimony that I heard. Here are the witnesses that testified. And I found them credible when they testified as to all of the above. And that's a very succinct
Okay, so if you let's say that all comes down from the judge. The other party doesn't agree with it. They take it to appellate court. Now, the decision comes down from appellate court. When they have to go back in front of that judge, do you feel that that judge takes that into account because the person didn't agree with them to begin with, so they took it to appellate court? Do you think that plays a role in it?
As to whether or not they took it to appellate court and therefore they have a target on their back that,
Right.
well, I'm gonna rule the right way.
Yes.
It's possible because judges are human.
Right.
But it's also possible that the appellate court has to also make a reasoned decision and say,
Right.
for these reasons. So when they get a redo, they're gonna, I would presume, as intelligent human beings, the judge is gonna say, okay, the appellate court said I didn't do this part right. I'm gonna make sure I do it right the next time.
Right. Yes. Okay. Got it.
So we're going to come back, and I love the fact that you break this down because
Yes, because
these are
we don't understand it. A lot of people don't.
Well, a lot of people don't, and the process needs to be simplified. And the information that you're giving us right now for
It's
listeners,
critical.
It's just so valuable.
Yes.
All right, so let's take a quick break, and we're going to come right back.
Ben, I found the greatest invention ever.
Okay.
I went to take my patio furniture out,
Okay.
and I realized that last year when I put it all away, I put them in these big zipper bags from Wrap America.
Yes.
Life-changing.
Yes. No. Rap America is awesome. Tommy definitely helped me out on a few different occasions.
It holds patio furniture, wave runners, ATVs. It's weather resistant. It's the
Advanced
best.
Protection Wrap
Yes.
is economical and a practical choice.
So call 516-830-0040, or you can go onto their website, wrap-america.com.
All right, since we have a meeting after this in West Islip,
Yes.
I got a place for us to go.
Oh, you do?
Because I'm going to be hungry, so we're going to go to Our Little Italy, 636 Union Boulevard, West Islip, New York, 11795. If you want to know, call 631-661-6246. Pickup and delivery are available. Ask for John. Go on www.ourlittleItalymenu.com to find out what they have.
Ooh, I heard they have good chicken parm. Hey, Ben,
Yes.
I need to talk about solar energy.
Okay. I want to hear about
Lighthouse
it.
Energy Partners. Go solar and start saving today.
Makes sense.
Owner, operated by women.
Ooh.
We believe in order to close the gender gap in the energy field, we need to showcase key female players and keeping them behind the scenes. Their mission is to serve clients with the highest level of integrity, stability, and respect by viewing their customers as partners. Any energy project you have in mind, call on Lighthouse Energy, www.lighthouseenergypartners.com, 631-275-0091, located in Babylon Village, New York.
So I have great news. Since we do this show on divorce, when divorce hits, maybe you want to sell the house. Maybe you need a C of O, a certificate of occupancy for certain things in the house. So if you're looking to make some home improvements, need an architect, contact Certified Drafting. Selling your home, need permits for existing structures, need a property survey, contact Certified Drafting. Certified Drafting will handle all building department matters, serving Long Island for over 20 years. www.certifieddrafting.com, office number 516-844-0420, or you can email Kevin Daly at certifieddrafting.com. Tell them you heard about this from the show, from Breaking the Vow. You're going to receive a 10% discount.
We love Kevin.
I love Kevin. I think that's pretty awesome.
And we're back. And we're back. And this is where we talk about the constructive conclusions of the show.
So a lot of people, we've gotten feedback from your show, from the show that you were on originally. There's a lot of feedback because people still don't understand. And people are... When something doesn't go their way,
yes, I have
automatically.
A lot of it was this didn't go my way, and why didn't it go my way, and this is what happened, and it was just. And I think by explaining it more, maybe they'll get it.
Yeah, and I had a friend. He said the attorney. He said, "Well, the attorney admitted, he's like, I just didn't do well with this judge, and it screwed him." Big time. I mean, he lost.
Listen, we all have to understand that judges are human too.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in the fact that when you like somebody, you like somebody. If you don't like somebody, you don't. That's pretty much being human.
Right. But they're not supposed to be.
They're not. Well, then you're telling them they're not supposed to be human.
Right.
Which you can't tell them.
How do you be human and fair and impartial at the same time?
I don't know, because I've never been, so.
I don't know. Have I been fair and impartial?
Never. I mean, you're not.
Well,
you're
no,
just
I'm
not.
biased. I have biases.
Right.
Everybody's
human.
In my own case with my own divorce, I mean, our divorce was really easy, and I think, Annemarie, you're gonna jump on this right quick. You know why our divorce was really easy? Never had to go to court once.
Yeah. Which
And
is
you don't have
amazing.
for your child. That's one of the things that I advise my clients when I first meet with them, especially the parents. I said, you can pay for my children to go to college, or
Yes.
you can pay for yours.
Right.
And either way is fine with me, but I need you to understand, I went to law school and I've been practicing law for quite a while now. So I understand the law. I can listen to the facts that you're presenting to me, and I can explain to you facts applied to law. This is the outcome. Unless your spouse was a multimillionaire, you're going to still get 17% of their adjusted gross income for one child. You're not going to get more unless they made more. It's a formula. Same thing for spousal support. 3 things that can be done with your home. One person buys the other out. Your children stay until they turn 18 if you can agree to that, or you sell your home. But that's applying their facts to the law. The best thing you can do for yourself financially, emotionally, personally, and for your children especially, is resolve your case with the advice of attorneys outside of court. Because if not, and you're going to go and spend thousands and thousands.
Oh no, I'm at hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And the thing is, you're literally paying to hurt yourself.
Yes.
Because you're going to be fighting an uphill battle against somebody which is going to be physically, emotionally, and financially draining.
Yes.
Not going to make you look good in front of anybody. You're going to be exhausted. You're not going to be a good parent to your children because you're going to be preoccupied with your divorce.
Right.
Not to mention, it's going to cost a lot of money. And at the end of the day, I'm a control freak. You don't get to control the outcome when you're
No, you don't.
You're throwing your entire life into the hands of somebody who has never met you,
Right.
or only on a few occasions in court, definitely doesn't know very much about your children, and is then going to decide
The rest
who
of
they
your
want to
life.
live with,
Yes.
when they get to see you, and sometimes what you're going to have for dinner.
Yes.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Right.
Great business plan for attorneys, because we can make our mortgage payments, we can pay our
Right.
overhead. Fine. And if that's what you want to pay us to do, many of us are happy to do that. But some of us will also say to you, at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to fight over things when you can come up with a plan where you're both not 1,000% happy, but you can cut your losses and start over with your sanity,
Right.
something in the bank,
Right.
and not draining your child's college fund.
Right.
But then you also have a plan to move forward and start fresh.
I think the advice I got, because I was angry, not because we were getting divorced. I mean, that was pretty much in the cards. I think I was angry because, I had my share of resentments. I also had like things that, like, when my ex-wife and I first met, like, I had my towels and all my stuff and whatever was mine. And when we got divorced, she must have saved them, which is pretty telling, by the way. She like saved my old towels and she gave them back to me. And they had like holes in them. They were like old. I'm like, you gave me back my old towels. She's like, well, the other towels are mine. And like, it was like things like that really bothered me. But at the same time, I never looked at the fact that mission accomplished. We needed to get away from each other. Mission accomplished. We needed to stop interacting and stop having the same arguments. Mission accomplished. But yet, there was this need to be validated, to be right, to be acknowledged, and I need to show them, and they're not going to do this to me.
Yeah, no one ever wins.
Well,
Especially when you go to court, no one ever really wins.
we were fortunate that didn't happen. But my lawyer told me, because I said a few things to him about things that were dishonest, and he goes, I can definitely say that, and it was true. There were things that I had dead to rights. He goes, I could definitely say that, but do you really, really want to go there?
Right.
Because as soon as you do that, it's going to get ugly.
Right.
They're going to come back.
Right.
And she has deeper pockets than you do. And I remember that conversation. He goes, my suggestion to you is get through this as safely as possible.
Yeah.
And I did that. And I'm certain there's certain things that I'm certainly not happy about. But you know what? Mission accomplished. We were two people that needed to get away from each other. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that. I think we get caught up in pride and ego.
Ugh.
I sent two different clients, one to a detox and rehabilitation facility out in California. I'm not going to say the name, but the place was absolutely horrendous. They billed it a certain way. They said, we're going to fly him out there. We're going to do all this for him. None of it was done. The client went out, detoxed, came home, is sober. The experience was terrible, but still, mission accomplished. I sent another client to a detox facility in the Bronx. He hated it. He said, these people were mean to me. I couldn't stand it. The counselors were terrible. I said, yeah, but mission accomplished. You got the alcohol out of your system. I think what we forget about is what's the mission.
Yeah.
And the mission is the separation and the divorce.
And getting through it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's really the constructive conclusion.
But if a rehabilitation center is so lovely, you're going to want to go back.
Right. You're not going to want to leave.
Well, that's why certain people get institutionalized, because it's kind of comfortable.
Yeah.
Divorce is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But yet people choose to stay in it. People choose to live in it.
I think a lot of times people are choosing to stay in it for the wrong reasons because somebody told them, whether it's what I call a Facebook lawyer
Or
or
Google.
a Google or a friend or family member that says you're going to get this and you're going to get that, or they're looking for something that a court and a judge and their attorneys can't achieve for them.
Right.
For example, one of the spouses was unfaithful. All they want is an apology and an admission of wrongdoing. You're not
getting that through the court.
The judge is not going to ask, well, sir or ma'am, did you cheat? And if so, are you sorry? No.
No,
If
that's not going to happen.
If you're looking for sorry, you're not getting it from the court system because they do the same thing as a lawyer does. They apply the facts as presented in admissible form, only the evidence that is allowed to be included, to the law.
For the record, I have not gotten an apology. I am just saying.
Neither have I.
For the record, I never got an apology. For the record, I said, you've never even apologized. And
Yeah.
they said, yes, I did. I go, when? And they said, that's not the point.
But that's what there are people, as I said, who will spend thousands of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars looking for I'm sorry, or you were right, or validation, or
Right.
a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's a cost benefit analysis.
Mm-hmm.
How much money am I spending to get $5 a week extra in child support? How much money am I spending, or how much time and energy am I expending to get, or thinking that I'm going to get them sorry?
So
And it's
leave
going
the
on for
pride
years
and ego at home.
Yes.
Or recognize that you're not going to achieve that in court. Get a therapist. Get a life coach.
Oh,
Yes.
Get a
Get a
hobby.
life coach.
Get
What
a life
great
coach.
idea. What a great. You guys can't see the thumbs up I got, but I'm happy about it. So listen, why do people honk their horn when you're driving? When they honk more than once, or sit on the horn? Like the idea for a honk is like beep beep, like hey. But you know why people honk their horn? Because they want to be acknowledged.
Yeah, they
I'm
want to be
right
heard.
and you're wrong.
Yes.
But the difference between a little horn honking, aside from the ass kicking you might get from it,
Right.
in court, it's just going to spend money. It's just going to be a waste of time and your money.
And as I said, some people simply want their day in court. They want a trial. I want to tell my side of the story to the judge, which is fabulous. And I want to be able to get that for them. But the process to get there, especially in a matrimonial divorce proceeding, you have to go through so much paperwork first. Experts have to be retained. Information has to be
Oh, believe me, Annemarie, I know.
records have to be obtained. And then when you finally get depositions need to be held,
Yes.
which are also extremely expensive. When you finally get to court, to your trial, do you really get to say your piece?
No,
No.
you don't.
No. Your attorney gets to ask you questions that get to the outcome that needs to be achieved.
Right.
To get you divorced. When were you married? What was the date?
Yeah.
Right.
Was it
How
civil
many
marriage
children do
or
you
was it-
have?
was
What
it
are
a
their
religious
birthdays? Like,
So listen,
It's anticlimactic. It's
Yes.
not going to be resolved in 60 minutes or
No.
30 minutes commercial break. It
Right.
can't be.
you
It's
you
remote.
talk about
yes.
Facebook lawyers.
Yes.
Although we all know that if it's on Facebook, it has,
It has to be true.
right? Or Twitter, right? Because new editors of truth, right? Unfortunately, I was not always a Boy Scout. And I remember sitting in a holding cell, right? And listening to these guys telling everyone, oh, no, this is what you're going to say. When you get in front of the judge, right? You tell them. And then this guy started telling me, I'm like, I go, you idiot. I don't say nothing. That's what the public defender standing right next to me is going to say. You're just going to say, you're going to shake your head and look stupid and go, do I go now or do I go back downstairs? It's never in our control.
Yeah, we never get to speak.
It's never in our control. So the constructive conclusion as we close today is basically to understand that life isn't in our control. The divorce wasn't in our control. So rather than try to control more, to be more out of control, just take a step back. Let the lawyers do their job. Keep it out of court if you can. And you'll be just happier.
Yes.
So say anyone else?
Yay. Yes.
All right. Annemarie, it was great to see you again. You look great, and we can't wait to have you
You're
back in studio.
fabulous. Thank you so much.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for calling me back.
Yay.
You'll be back soon.
You'll be back soon, I'm sure.
August.
Yep.
Put it down in the book.
Thank you,
Sounds
Annemarie.
good.
We
So
love
hopefully-
you.
And if people have questions, I hope that they're commenting on Facebook and all the social
Yes.
media so we can get some correct answers.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
in fauress, Facebook has the correct answers, but we'll
Yeah.
go to you.
Right.
It's Facebook. Come on.
If you want to, I'm more than happy.
No, you're the best. Of course we want you. Facebook. It's such a joke, man.
Yes. We
It's
love
just-
you.
We
Thank
love
you
you.
so
Speak
much.
to you soon. Take care.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.